The sun breaks over the skyline, hitting the edge of the rooftop. Anton stands at the perimeter, looking down at the grid of streets waking up below. He turns to the lens, his expression steady. Most people down there believe that wealth is a lottery ticket, a stroke of blind luck, or just perfect timing. They wait for a windfall that never comes because they are looking in the wrong direction. He points toward the horizon, tracing the line where the light meets the buildings. They are wrong. Wealth is not a game of chance. It is not something that happens to you. It is a function of time. He leans forward, closing the distance to the camera. At 18, you think you have forever. You think money is something you chase to buy things you do not need. But if you shift your perspective right now, you stop gathering currency and start gathering something far more valuable. You are not just saving. You are buying your future. You are purchasing the ability to walk away from stress and debt before they ever take hold. The city hums below, but up here, the math is simple. It is time to look at the numbers. Anton steps away from the ledge and paces the rooftop, his focus shifting from the skyline to the viewer. He stops, hands clasped behind his back, looking directly into the lens. Most people view wealth as a mountain of gold. They think it is about excess. It is not. It is about the absence of chains. When you start now, you are not just building a balance sheet. You are buying your exit strategy from the life you do not want. Think about the friction in your daily routine. The alarm clock that signals a day of obligation. The credit card bill that looms like a shadow at the end of every month. The constant, low-level hum of anxiety that you cannot quite silence. That is the cost of waiting. By taking control today, you are not chasing luxury. You are purchasing your own autonomy. You are reclaiming the hours that currently belong to someone else. This is not about greed. It is about the quiet dignity of having options. It is about being able to say no when the world expects you to say yes. Every dollar you set aside is a brick in the wall of your own independence. It is time to stop reacting to the pressure and start building the life that survives it. Anton walks to a whiteboard mounted against the brickwork. He uncaps a marker, the squeak sharp against the rooftop wind. He writes the number 200 in large, bold strokes. This is the starting point. He draws a line that begins flat, then curves sharply, violently upward as it moves across the board. If you invest $200 a month starting today, the math takes over. It stops being about your effort and starts being about time. He taps the board at the 30-year mark. By then, you have $60,000. He moves the marker further along the arc. By 40, that number triples to over 180,000. He reaches the end of the line, circling a final, massive figure. By 60, you cross the 700,000 mark. He steps back, letting the visual sink in. The curve is steep, a geometric representation of momentum. It is not guessing. It is not hoping for a shortcut. It is the raw, inevitable weight of a system that works while you sleep. The numbers are written in black ink, stark and unyielding against the white surface. Look at the climb. This is what happens when you stop spending and start compounding. Anton caps the marker and tosses it onto the tray with a sharp, metallic click. He turns back to the whiteboard, his face set in a look of absolute conviction. He points to the curve he just drew. You think this requires a genius? You think this requires a stroke of luck or some secret knowledge hidden from the rest of the world? He picks up the marker again and writes 3 words in a jagged, aggressive script. Consistency beats genius. He underlines the phrase until the tip of the marker threatens to fray. This is the part that kills most people. They want the explosion, the shortcut, the overnight victory. They do not want the slow, repetitive grind of doing the right thing every single month. But look at the math. The math does not care about your talent. It does not care about your background. It cares about your presence. It cares that you show up when you would rather spend. It is not magic. It is simple, boring, relentless arithmetic performed with the patience of a stone. When you stop chasing the miracle and start respecting the process, the outcome becomes inevitable. You are not building a fortune overnight. You are building a system that makes failure mathematically impossible over time. The bell above the door chimes as Anton steps into the warmth of the coffee shop. The air is heavy with the scent of roasted beans and steam. He reaches the counter, the line moving rhythmically ahead of him. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a crisp $5 bill. It feels light, almost insignificant. In his other hand, his thumb hovers over the glass surface of his smartphone. The brokerage app is open, glowing with a steady, pulsing green light. He stares at the bill, then at the screen. $5. It is the cost of a daily habit, the price of a temporary comfort that vanishes in 10 minutes. On the screen, that same $5 represents a stake in a future that grows every second it remains invested. He feels the weight of the choice. It is a quiet, internal friction. The barista looks up, waiting for the order. Anton does not speak. He keeps his gaze locked on the screen, feeling the pull of the immediate urge to consume, battling against the cold, quiet logic of the compounding interest he just mapped out. The phone's screen reflects in his eyes. He is standing at the exact intersection where most people lose their wealth, and he is not moving. The silence between Anton and the counter stretches. He looks at the $5 bill, then slides it back into his pocket. The paper disappears into the dark fabric, out of sight. His thumb moves to the brokerage app. A single, deliberate tap on the glass confirms the transaction. A small checkmark pulses on the screen, signaling the transfer. The tension in his jaw releases. He looks at the menu board, then at the empty cup waiting to be filled, and turns away. He does not order. He does not wait. He walks past the counter toward the exit. The internal dialogue shifts. Where there was once the craving for an immediate reward, there is now a cold, sharp focus. He replaces the mantra, "I deserve this," with a new, heavier truth. I am building something. The words are not just a thought. They are a physical foundation. He pushes the door open and steps back into the street. The coffee remains behind, forgotten, a symbol of a choice he no longer makes. He is no longer consuming his resources. He is directing them. Every step he takes away from the shop confirms the decision. He is not spending. He is investing in his own freedom. Anton leaves the street behind and enters a quiet, dim room. He pulls a notebook from his bag and lays it flat on the wooden desk.
The silence here is total, broken only by the soft scrape of his pen against the paper.
He writes down his goals. They are not lists of things to buy, but markers of time he intends to reclaim. He pauses, the pen held mid-air, then writes a single phrase. Wealth is the ability to choose. He moves to the wall and taps a board labeled Freedom. Most people move through their lives, running after a paycheck, letting the cycle dictate their schedule. He looks at the notebook again. He is not chasing money for the sake of luxury. Luxury is a distraction, a temporary status that drains resources. He is building a buffer. He wants the power to walk away from a bad deal, the capacity to spend his Tuesday morning in a library, or the means to relocate if the environment fails to serve his growth. He draws a circle around the word options. This is the true balance sheet. Every dollar he saves is a ticket out of a forced labor arrangement. He closes the notebook, the sound of the cover hitting the desk echoing in the small space. He has defined the destination. Now, the math begins to serve his life. The room fades. A new sequence begins. Anton is 25, hunched over a screen in a dimly lit office. His fingers move across the keys with rhythmic precision. He does not look up. He is checking charts, mapping his progress, and ignoring the distractions of his peers. The clock ticks forward. Suddenly, he is 35. The office is gone. He stands on a train platform in a foreign city, a backpack at his feet, looking at a map of a mountain range. He has traded the desk for terrain. He is not stressed. He is observing the world from a position of total control. The montage accelerates. At 45, the scene shifts to a sun-drenched park. He stands before a circle of students, gesturing toward a whiteboard he has set up on a park bench. He is explaining the movement of capital. His movements are fluid, his posture upright. He is not reacting to the demands of a boss or a payroll deadline. He has reached the end of the long road he mapped out in his notebook. He is no longer building his wealth. He is sharing the method. The progression is clear. Every year was a brick in a foundation that now allows him to exist exactly where he chooses to be. He has successfully designed his environment. The park remains bright. Anton leans over the bench, his marker tracing a sharp upward trajectory on the whiteboard. He does not just speak. He points to the variables, his hand steady and precise. A student asks a question about market volatility, and Anton nods, immediately adjusting the graph to show the impact of time on that specific risk. He is not lecturing from a script. He is analyzing the world in real time, teaching others how to strip away the noise. He moves to the center of the small group, rearranging the chairs to create a better view of the charts. Every action he takes is deliberate, aimed at sharpening their focus. The students watch him with intensity, their own notebooks open, mirroring the habit he cultivated decades ago. He is no longer a man reacting to the unpredictable shifts of a paycheck or an employer. He is the architect of this space. He stands back, observing the group as they apply the math for themselves. The legacy is not just the money he accumulated. It is the clarity he has passed on. He has turned his life into a template, a finished blueprint that others can now follow. He has successfully replaced the uncertainty of his youth with a reality he designed, piece by piece, through patience and math. Back on the rooftop, the city lights begin to flicker to life below. The sun has dipped below the horizon, casting deep, long shadows across the concrete. Anton turns away from the view and walks toward the camera. He stops, his posture relaxed, his face showing the quiet confidence of a man who owns his time. He looks directly into the lens. You do not need to be perfect to start. You just need to begin. The best time to build the life you want was yesterday. The second best time is right now. He smiles, a genuine expression of encouragement, and raises a hand to point toward the viewer. This is not a distant goal for someone else. It is a choice for you, starting with the very next decision you make. If you are ready to master your mind and your money, hit subscribe and join me every week for the next lesson. We have work to do, and the path is open. He holds the gaze for a heartbeat, then turns back to the city skyline, watching the progress of the world he helped shape. The camera fades as he stands there, steady and ready for what comes next.